Ladies and gentlemen, one of the wisest lessons I ever learned was this: never tell people what you do, show them with results. In today's world, everyone talks. Social media is full of people announcing their plans, their hustle, their dreams, but talk is cheap. What separates the few who succeed from the many who don't is execution, results, discipline. You don't need to broadcast your every move. You don't need to explain your hustle to anyone. The world doesn't reward words, it rewards action. Jim Rohn said, "Don't join an easy crowd, you won't grow. Go where the expectations and the demands to perform are."
Hi, that starts with you. Set high expectations for yourself and meet them quietly. You'll find strength in silence, confidence in consistency, and respect in results. Be the one who walks the talk. Be the one who doesn't need applause to move forward. Let your actions be your signature. Let your success speak so loudly you never have to explain anything again. In a world saturated with noise, one thing always stands out: action. You can post your goals on social media, tell your friends what you're planning to do, and share your dreams with the world. But none of that carries real weight until it's backed by consistent, tangible effort. Telling people what you plan to do often gives a false sense of accomplishment. It tricks your mind into believing you've already taken steps, when in reality, you haven't even started. This is why Jim Rohn emphasized doing over talking. When you show up day after day, working on your craft in silence, you begin to build something real, something that doesn't need to be explained. People listen to words, but they believe results. You could spend hours convincing someone how committed you are to your business or goals. Or you could show them results so undeniable that no explanation is needed. Results speak the universal language of success. The truth is, people form impressions based on what they see, not what they hear. If you want to be taken seriously, don't announce, demonstrate. Let your consistency and achievements speak volumes. Every late night you spend learning, every early morning you invest in discipline, every setback you overcome silently. Those things stack up. Quiet work becomes loud results. Real power comes from being the person who doesn't need to say much, but is always respected because of what they deliver. So instead of asking for attention, earn admiration through execution. Talk less, do more. Let people be surprised, not by your words, but by your rise. There is a quiet strength in not telling the world what you're building. When you stay silent, you're not hiding. You're protecting your mission. You're shielding your energy from doubt, from judgment, and from unnecessary opinions that might dilute your drive. Silence doesn't mean inaction. In fact, some of the most powerful moves are made behind the scenes. Think about it. A seed grows underground long before it ever breaks the surface. Similarly, your growth, mental, emotional, financial, often begins in moments of solitude, where there's no applause, no validation, just you and the work. When you talk too much about your goals, you unintentionally open the door for distractions. People will question you, suggest shortcuts, or worse, plant seeds of doubt, and when you're still building, that kind of energy can be toxic. Silence gives you the space to focus deeply, to stay grounded, and to move without interference. Jim Rohn believed that personal development was an internal journey before it was ever external. And part of that inner mastery involves keeping your mouth shut and your eyes on the mission. While others are busy trying to impress, you're busy trying to improve. While they seek attention, you seek advancement. Power is not always loud. Sometimes, the most dangerous person in the room is the one who says the least, watches the most, and delivers when it counts. That person is in control, not of others, but of themselves. They understand that silence is not weakness, it's discipline, it's patience, it's confidence. You can talk about your dreams all day long. You can say you're working hard, that you're grinding, hustling, sacrificing. But let's be real. The world doesn't reward effort alone. It respects results. This is the brutal truth many avoid. People judge you by what they see you accomplish, not what you say you're working on. You might be trying your best, but unless you produce something measurable, something that moves the needle, it won't get the attention, respect, or recognition you're looking for. Think of athletes, entrepreneurs, or artists. We don't admire them just because they said they were training, investing, or creating. We admire them because they won, built something, or delivered greatness. The result is what earns trust, credibility, and legacy. Jim Rohn taught that success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines, practiced every day. Those simple disciplines lead to outcomes, and outcomes, results are what elevate your reputation. Even when you're just starting out, focus on small wins. Stack them. Let your results evolve from quiet consistency. Over time, they'll start speaking for you louder than you ever could. A transformed body, a profitable business, a mastered skill. Those results are your best advertisement. You don't need to scream for attention when your life becomes proof of progress. Your transformation becomes your testimony. Let your bank account, your skills, your mindset, and your impact speak so loudly that the world can't ignore you. There's a seductive danger in telling people what you're doing, what you're planning, or how hard you're working. It feeds your ego. And while the ego might love being admired for potential, potential isn't power, execution is. When you announce your goals prematurely, you give yourself a dopamine hit. People applaud your ambition, they nod in approval, maybe even compliment your vision. It feels good, but it's a trap. Because once your ego is satisfied, your drive often weakens. Your brain thinks you've already achieved something, when in reality, you haven't done anything yet. Jim Rohn often warned against this kind of false reward. He believed that self-worth should come from inner discipline, not external validation. And that means resisting the urge to impress people before you've produced something worth talking about. When you feed your ego too early, it starts needing more attention, more praise, more external fuel. And that's dangerous because your focus shifts from doing the work to maintaining the image. Instead of building a business, you're building a persona. Instead of sharpening your skills, you're performing for the crowd. That's why humility is powerful. Staying quiet keeps your ego in check. It reminds you that you still have work to do. It keeps you honest, grounded, and focused on the process, not the perception. So avoid the trap. Let go of the need to be seen. Don't let temporary applause derail your long-term purpose. Starve your ego and feed your grind. The real fulfillment isn't in being admired, it's in becoming undeniable. When you stop talking and start working, something powerful happens. Your mind clears, your vision sharpens, and your progress accelerates. There's no longer a need to explain yourself, justify your goals, or prove your worth to anyone. The noise fades, and what's left is pure, focused effort. Focus is a rare currency in today's world. Distraction is everywhere, notifications, opinions, applause, seeking, and endless noise. But those who win are those who can drown all of that out and lock in. And the fastest way to do that is through quiet work. Jim Rohn believed in the quiet rituals of growth. Waking up early, planning your day, studying when no one's watching, putting in reps, refining skills. These small, invisible moments compound into results. But they require mental clarity, and clarity requires silence. When you share your plans too early or too often, you invite distraction. You start listening to feedback from people who don't understand your mission. You begin adjusting your vision to meet expectations that were never meant for you. The more people you invite into your mental space, the harder it becomes to stay centered. But when you keep your head down and just do the work, you enter a state of flow. You lose track of time, your goals become more real, more vivid, more achievable. You stop wasting time managing perceptions and start building something solid. Quiet work isn't about being secretive, it's about being strategic. It's about creating an environment where you can fully engage with the process without interference. It's where discipline thrives. It's where mastery is born. So, carve out your quiet. Create your sacred space for progress. Let your work grow roots before you put it on display. Because in silence, your focus becomes your power. And focus always wins. Success speaks a language louder than any announcement, louder than any caption, louder than any speech. It speaks through results, impact, and transformation. You don't have to promote yourself when your results speak for you. That's why Jim Rohn often said, work hard on yourself, more than you do on your job. Because when you become excellent, the world notices, without you saying a word. Think about the most respected people in any industry. They didn't get there by shouting their way to the top. They got there by becoming so good that the world had no choice but to recognize them. Whether you're an entrepreneur, an artist, a student, or an athlete, when you commit to your craft and improve daily, success becomes your loudest spokesperson. You don't need to tell people you're building a business. When it starts making money, they'll notice. You don't need to say you're changing your life. When your habits, energy, and results shift, people will ask what happened. Let that curiosity serve you. Let success be the story people want to hear. Why? Because real success is magnetic. It draws attention without you chasing it. People are naturally drawn to those who do what they say, to those who carry the aura of consistency and progress. That's the kind of buzz you want, the kind that lasts because it's rooted in authenticity and delivery, not hype. When you focus on getting better instead of getting noticed, you build substance over style. And in the long run, substance always wins. You build a foundation so strong that when people finally notice, they're not seeing potential. They're witnessing power. So let the buzz build around your success. You don't have to chase the spotlight. When you're truly excellent, it finds you. Jim Rohn wasn't just a speaker. He was a philosopher of action. His teachings were never about empty motivation or hyped-up emotion. He spoke directly, truthfully, and with a principle that cut through all excuses. Results are everything. Rohn believed in growth, not flashy growth, not loud declarations, but measurable, disciplined, lasting growth. He didn't admire talkers, he respected doers. His philosophy was simple. If you want a better life, you have to get better. If you want more, you must become more. He taught that success is a byproduct of habits, of small daily disciplines, and that no matter how big your vision or loud your voice, if your results don't back it up, it means nothing. This legacy is more relevant today than ever. In an era where anyone can broadcast their hustle, where personal branding is louder than personal development, Jim Rohn's message stands as a timeless reminder. Don't just talk about it, be about it. He challenged people to build a life that didn't need to be explained. He believed that if you took care of the basics, reading, thinking, working, reflecting, your life would show it. You wouldn't need to announce what you were working on. Your character, your confidence, and your contributions would say it for you. So, if you truly want to honor his philosophy, stop focusing on the presentation and start focusing on the performance. Let your income, your impact, your health, your relationships, all of it, be proof that you've done the work. Because, in the end, as Jim always said, the major value in life is not what you get. The major value in life is what you become.